Hello,
No.
everybody. Ava's just
Hello.
starting out with a screaming no into the abyss,
No.
so it's a good night. Hi everyone. Welcome to another Thursday night with your favorite crew of murderers. um, Here we are doing the Spire thing. Why don't we start with introductions for once in our lives? And then we'll do the Chelsea poem. So I'll start. Hello, my name is Elise. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am the GM. And I'm going to pass it to Sarah.
Hello, I'm Sarah. I play Din, and both of our pronouns are she, her, hers. And I am going to pass it to Sam.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sam. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I play Eddic Shemiza, whose pronouns are also he, him, his. And I'm going to pass it through Sarah over to Tyler.
Whole bottom row.
Hi, I'm Tyler. I play Anders and Company is what I'm going to go with. We are all he, him, his. And I am going to go up to Rachel, I believe. Yes.
Now I'm just thinking about Oliver and Company. I'm
Good.
Rachel, and I play Alvy, as well as a bunch of bees. And we all go by she, her, hers, except bees. Are bees? I don't know how
Worker
bees
bees
work.
are
Are worker bees?
females.
Wait, what? They're
But
The workers
thought-
are female.
Oh, okay. You know what?
and the boys
Sure.
like stay home, and the
Some of them probably.
girls go out and do shit. Or
I have a feeling gender is largely meaningless to bees.
what? No.
Worker bees are all female, and there are males in
Bees
the
have
hive called
protests
drones.
that
Is it
gender
like
is a
the whole thing
societal
with the bees
construct
like that
and-
basically like because the queen is like her own thing that like they kind of consider like bees to have like a third like three genders of like the queen, the drones, and the like.
Well, I have no idea.
I think this I have read this before. Anyway, Rachel, could you
Anyway, me and Alvy are she, her, hers. I don't know about bees, but who gives a fuck? Because the bees are fine. And I'm gonna go this way all around the world to Ava.
Hi, I'm Ava. I play as Chu, the Queen of Excess. Both of our pronouns are she, her, hers. And I know everything about bees. I just choose to never share it because it's a mystery.
fair?
Is there anybody left? No? Okay. I pass it off to the chat. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, all right, chat. Let's get
Come on.
well, we do have one thing from the chat to do, which is Chelsea's poem. Who would like to read Chelsea's poem this week?
I don't see it.
It's there.
It's above Lena's compliment to me. I'll read it. That's fine.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Missed it.
Bees. Last week was the most horrific artistic blood ball. I'm still in awe and must applaud you all. The body hit the floor, Chu made it rain, and it was worth the mind stress. The swan should come begging for the queen of excess. Bravo, consider this my 5-star concert review. Much love, Spire crew, I can see and hear you. That was so good.
Oh,
Yay!
these are so good.
They're
Heck.
so cute.
10 out of 10.
Thank you so much,
I-
Chelsea.
I just wanted to also share in terms of what Ava had said in the chat too, is that I do have a handful of Spire bee facts as well, just
Excellent.
at the ready when needed. So
Oh, excellent. So speaking of Chelsea poems and other wonderful things that you can find out in Helpful Goat, how about that transition? You can hang out with us on Discord, use the exclamation point Discord, and you can catch our other content this week and next week and beyond. Tomorrow is Fates of Rin at 7 Mountain Time and 9 Eastern Time. And then next week, I don't know, on Wednesdays, Goats of Saltmarsh, GM'd by our very own Rachel, on Wednesday at 7 Mountain Time, 9 Eastern Time, and then Spire again right here, and then Tier Moontrine Isle. Did I say Moontrine? Moontrine Isle.
Tier tree trim aisle.
Tree trim aisle. Still my most
That's the
proud
best. Still the best joke.
pun joke moment of tier. Yeah, and then we've got merch now, so you can check that out. We've got the donate button in chat going to this month. I think we're highlighting Patient Advocate Foundation. And yep, those are the helpful goat things. Okay, so we will do a few things before we start the game. First, we'll go through a recap of what happened last session. Then we will, the players did get low advance, which is how you kind of level up in Spire, from the previous sessions. So we will have them talk about what they chose for their low advance. And then we will do a stress check, which is, again, Spire talk for me to make sure I have my tracking correct on how much stress the players or the characters have. Players always welcome again to check in on your real life stress if you so choose during the stress check. And then we'll have Sam and Rachel do their abilities, their special abilities for the class, and then we will start. So, players, what happened last week?
You had some dancing sharks. I bled a bunch. You know, the standards.
We got. So I mentioned this in the Discord as we were getting ready, but we had 2 really incredible critical successes. We had God damn it, I almost said Kelvy. We had Anders, except not as Anders. Wait, was it as Anders?
Sten.
No, it was
No.
as
Sten. It was
yes.
Sten. Yeah. We had Sten who rolled a 1 in 1,000 odds triple critical success.
Oh yeah.
It's really funny because he's a compulsive gambler, so I was very happy.
That's
Very
amazing.
just, it's
Oh, that's
Anyway.
fantastic. So
it's
apropos.
great. I love it.
And then Edic got a critical success, 2 10s on activating his Beseech Demon spell. And
We lost Sam.
Oh no!
And-
Everybody was yes.
So during the so we had the performance and it was going super awesome. And in the middle of the or at the end of the performance, we were doing the whole chandelier with the corpse thing, and Sam crushed his Beseech Demon roll and began to cause the body to go up into the thing. And if Sam is back, he can take over, but I don't know if he is. So I'll keep going. So the body went up into.
I think I'm back now.
Hey, welcome back. Take it over, buddy.
Yeah. So the hope. I heard everything Ava was saying. Fantastic.
Yeah.
The hope of that was that it would basically cause the swan to want to like prostrate himself at the whims of Chu, the Queen of Excess. You know, she is the real queen here. And yeah, that's my hope, that will have convinced him to do that. And I think, you know, I don't really know what else super important detail wise happened with the actual show, but definitely what Sten was doing behind the scenes super important. So I will pass things off to Tyler.
Sure. Yeah. So Sten, one of Anders' covers, decided to attempt to infiltrate, get buddy with a shady group that was kind of hanging around in the back of the concert. He managed to attract the interest of EO, who was kind of the, I guess, closest thing to a right hand as our kind of central figure in that group. Had just shit talked his way to a meeting, got the Swan's business card, and I believe ended up getting a temporary bond with EO from that. Yep. And also got some free sulfur, so there's that. I got hooked up with a syringe of sulfur that I haven't used yet. I think that was everything that
Yeah.
happened with me. Yeah.
Great. Anything else y'all want to cover?
Dan and I didn't do a whole lot. We were there as background support for all the great things going on.
Got Chu out. Got her out. Safe and
Yeah.
sound.
Got you.
Yeah, nobody died.
Except
Chu-
for
Well, no, we had
person.
one
got
death.
fucked up. And
Nobody
there
worth
was
wild
one
died.
super innocent girl who I
Or-
feel super bad about.
or
I wanted to
Earl.
kill her really quickly, and instead she ended up getting like eaten alive by a mob.
That
Mhm.
is true.
So that was a bit much, but still pretty cool. But like, wow.
Yes.
I did have written a description of EO. She is female, and she has a lot of body augmentations. And then I had notes about Sten, just a description of what Sten looked like, and I wrote Mr. Winters ? And that's all I have on that.
Yep. We can get into the Mr. Winters thing eventually. Hope that might be a good thing, or it might be I don't know. Organized crime in Spire is a thing that happens in Red Row. That's the gang that Dan is a part of. The Mr. Winters gang.
Nice. Yeah, so I think that's end of recap.
Okay. Really quick, can I go through and get your stress levels too?
So much. 3, I guess. 3 blood.
Mm-hmm. Din?
0.
Alfie?
Question. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was like bleeding and dying or some shit.
Oh yes.
Is that gone now?
No. You have to get medical attention.
Can I get medical?
You have to
attention?
actively, seek medical attention to stop the blood thing. And whenever, just as a reminder, until you do that, the bleeding condition is basically we roll a d3 every time you do an action, and you take that much blood stress. But I don't roll fallout on those rolls, so it just adds blood stress until you until you do
Doesn't
something.
sound urgent. I'll just leave it. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay, Alfie.
0.
Edic.
0.
Anders.
1, and it is to Shadow.
Okay.
That whole encounter could have gone so drastically differently.
All right. And last but not least, before we dive in tonight, Rachel and Sam, what will your special abilities be today?
And advances.
Oh yeah, we have to do advances. Thank you.
I want to do a knack in deceive. And it's specifically when I am trying to discuss and cover up my intentions.
Okay.
Someone's gonna lie. Oh my gosh.
Wow. Hopefully not in front of me.
I know.
God, I don't even fucking know what we're gonna do this time. Like, I don't even know what to expect. Compel in if we meet with the Swan
I
or their
believe you
people.
took compel last time.
You're right.
Both
Fuck
of you took
me.
compel.
Yeah.
I
You can't take
did,
compel this time.
but I
Oof.
want to.
Do it. Believe in yourself.
Is it just a skill for that, or
It's
is
just
there a
skills.
domain that you can pick? It's just a skill.
skills.
Okay.
Just skills, yeah. Then maybe resist, just in case
Okay.
the Swan does some shit. I
So
don't know. I don't know what
specifically,
to
like,
expect.
do you have a specific type of resistance to name with
Yeah,
because it's
like
a net?
if we have a bad run in with the swan and they've got crazy drug powers or other such powers and we have to resist them somehow. I'm really
Crazy drug
thinking this
powers.
through and I'm
Uh-huh.
doing such a good job.
You
Crazy
should get
drug powers from the swan.
you
Resist.
should get mastery on fix, so you can
Resist.
patch
I don't know if
my
I count
breathing.
as medical attention. I thought of that, but I don't know if I do because I'm just a bee lady.
You
So
have
if
bees.
you have fix,
Like,
right?
I don't have fix.
I have fix, and fix counts for mending broken bones and stuff. So
Would that
yeah.
count for fixing the bleeding situation?
It
Oh,
just
then
yeah,
fuck it,
but
yeah.
it will have
Yeah.
to be like a roll.
Okay.
But yes, it
Yeah, I'll
will.
do it. I've got 0 stress, so I
Okay.
will do fix to heal chew.
They're just patch.
I don't know
up
why I just assumed that she would say
some
no, so I
things.
didn't even recommend it. So
Okay, good.
You would think, right? But after a
So
performance, I think
we'll get to that pretty quick, probably, because I assume that's something we would do pretty fast after the concert. But first, we need to go through last housekeeping thing, hear about everybody's new abilities. So if everyone would like to go ahead and let us know, what did you pick for your new low advance?
I'll go first. Chu got an advance called Incorruptible. It means that my mind is a crystal shining and pure paragon, blah, 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 and madness rolls off of me onto others. Once per situation, when I take stress to mind, a different nearby character chosen by the GM takes it instead.
Okay.
So anytime I would take mind stress once per situation, I could just be like, how about one of my party members dies instead? And that's awesome because
It
that's
doesn't have to be
very
a player
Chu.
character, right? It can also be an NPC.
It
It's
could
just
be
any
anybody. I mean, you
character. So it
choose,
could be a
right?
player
So
character, it could be an NPC, right?
if it is
But
a
it's
player character, it's because you made it a player character at
Mhm.
least.
You can always make it me because I can get rid of a D6 of mind stress
we
That's
shall
every
true.
single
see.
session.
Can I
with my
keep like
bees.
one
It's like
bee
the
in my
opposite of
nose?
Right.
Minrai.
Just like
Y'all, like Minrai can
Right,
like
you are-
appear
oh,
and like
wow.
take stress from people. And Chu can be like, take my stress.
take my stress. Here you go.
All right.
Yeah.
But also, to be fair, Albie would happily be like, yes, I will take your stress.
True.
Loan me a bee and I'll just keep it. Keep it.
All right. What
It
other
has to
new low
whisper.
advances?
Oh, I
Um,
wait with popcorn. I choose this person,
That's Sam.
Sam.
Oh, it's
I
me. Okay,
appreciate
cool.
that Sam like looked up and it just happened to kind of be like Ava was like, this person.
Yeah.
Sam's like anyway.
It me.
you.
Yeah, so I chose a demonic resonance, which the small little bit of preamble that you need to know to really understand what that does is demonologists, get the ability to interact with eidolons and can create them and do stuff with them, all that good stuff. But there is this thing called first contact, which is the first time you commune with an eidolon and make a bond with it. It burrows into me and wrenches secrets from my thoughts, and I mark D6 stress to mind, which is a serious amount of stress. In case you don't recall, last season, my character died because they took D6 stress to mind.
Well, they didn't
Yes.
die. They just got a new god and became all powerful and then died.
And then
If only you
Yeah.
could voice that stress onto somebody else,
yeah, right. If only. So demonic resonance is basically the exact opposite of that. So I've trained my mind to be accommodating to many different forms of demonic energy. The first time that I handle an eidolon, I do not mark stress as others would. Instead, I refresh D6 stress.
Very nice.
So that's delightful,
So you
and
can
we'll
get
see.
D6 stress and refresh D6 stress. Balance.
Well, now I just refresh. I don't take it at all.
Oh, yeah, I was listening.
Yeah.
We know.
And I will popcorn it. I'm not gonna point because I don't have Twitch up right now. I'm gonna send it off to Anders.
Oh golly! All right. Well, Anders took a little number called a single night's grace. Um, this is let's see here. Mark D6 stress to beseech Lambre, who is the dark side of the moon goddess that I am get all my powers from. For aid to cast this spell, you choose a cover you do not possess. You now inhabit it until the next sunrise, and may not remove it beforehand for any reason. So that's hopefully going to be interesting. Who knows? And if I go this way, there's someone this way.
I
Sit.
can't tell
Sarah.
yet.
I don't have
Okay,
Twitch up.
okay.
Sarah. Sarah.
I was like, I
Uh,
can't tell until Twitch catches
and
up.
wait.
I'm like, which
Yeah,
who
this
is?
way. I wanted to do the thing, right? I wanted to look and I wanted it to work good, and I looked the wrong way. Okay.
Well, we tried.
All right. I am taking dress for success. A good cravat can cover all manner of sins. Gain access to the fixed skill. If you spend an hour helping an ally prepare before a difficult endeavor, picking out their clothes and advising them on methods of approach, they roll with mastery on compel and deceive checks for the next situation. So,
I love that so much.
Tyler's excited
Yeah.
about this.
to be a helper. I'm gonna give it to Rachel.
It's me. I have my paper thing open and ready to read right now. Mine is release the hive. You fill the surrounding area with bees. I get to make a roll of compel and occult to cast the spell, and on a success, a swarm of bees pours forth from my clothing, and these bees will inflict D3 stress to anyone that stands near me. And most sensible people will flee once the swarm takes flight. So basically, if I'm uncomfortable in a situation and people aren't leaving or giving me space, I can just be like, bees, protect me!
You know what's wild is I also have a swarm-based ability, so we could do double swarms once I get another medium thing.
Oh. Okay, very good. So we have so many excellent things. All right, so we can go ahead and say, like, as you guys are fleeing kind of the site of the concert, if you wanted to roll for the bleeding condition, and then otherwise, we would probably start kind of the morning after as you all reconvene to brief and go on, unless there was anything anyone wanted to do that night besides just get the hell away from scene of the crime. Slash concert.
Wait, do I have to roll?
Nope. It would be Rachel. If you're doing the fix roll, Rachel.
And Rachel has the knack, but I actually have the ability.
Right.
So with that, I
You
could
can
help.
help me
Can I
out.
help?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can help. So then, Rachel, you'll roll so that you get the knack, but that's so fix, and then with your extra D10 for the knack, and it will be gosh, I suppose this is low society.
I don't have low society.
Okay,
So
so
I would
3d10.
have the base, my knack, and then Sam's help.
Exactly.
Okay. Cool. Let's do this. Let's heal Chew. Rolling.
Okay.
A 7.
7 is success. I believe at a cost. So on the map layer, and I realize I'm about to move. Okay.
Now you're bleeding and I'm fine.
Yeah. Success at a cost. I'm gonna say let me roll something really quick. It's roll. It's just taking its sweet time. I always roll ones on D3. So congratulations. Alvi, go ahead and mark 1 to shadow stress. We're basically going to.
I have a resistance in that.
Great.
So
We're basically going to say like the amount of time it took, kind of put some threat on y'all kind of getting away safely from the scene of the concert here. But that does successfully take the bleeding condition off of Chew. So
yay!
yay. All right. So Chew is no longer
Thank
bleeding.
you.
No longer bleeding out. Hooray!
And yeah, all right. And do y'all want to just go your separate ways and meet up in the morning, or is there anything to do tonight before that's kind of the case? All right.
I'm fine with just going to bed.
All right.
Yep.
All
I'll
right.
go hang out with Lola and Rauka.
Yeah. Go check in. See what the ghosts are up to.
I'll start like leaving notes around for Dissa to see if
Mhm.
the ghost can like, somehow get a message to me, or just like things I want to know that the next time Bertold is there, I could just be like, okay, here's all of the things I've asked her. Can you tell me what she responds?
I think that that Rauka has a working theory about leaving crumbs, and that Dissa can move the crumbs a little bit. And so if you like leave crumbs out, that Dissa can basically like make little. But this is just like I said, this is Rauka's working theory. You've had like.
Can we just say that it's Rauka moving the crumbs into answers that I want to get because he feels bad for me that the ghost isn't responding?
Reading tea leaves, but
Yeah,
it's crumbs.
but it's
While
crumbs.
I'm not there, Rauka's just moving crumbs into answers.
And then lying to you and saying that it's Dissa. I feel like that's kind of cruel, actually.
You have anything better to do?
All right. Yes.
Oh.
Okay. So, yeah, you all go to bed. Or do whatever you might do that night. And the next day, Chu, who naturally Ava um, is not at her computer, but Chu, you wake up to Bev
I'm here.
knocking.
That's me.
I know,
It's just a
that's you.
shark version.
Oh, okay, I see. Well,
Thanks.
Chu the shark.
She transformed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as Chu does. You wake up to Bev knocking on your door, and she when you answer, which I presume you do.
I
Um,
will, and I will do so quite hungoverly because I don't know who remembers, but I slammed a bottle of champagne at the beginning of that concert and then got mauled by a crowd.
That's
So
true.
I think Chu is pretty much done for
Pretty
today
hungover.
already. Yeah.
And Bev, hi, Miss Queen of Excess. I know it's
Not
kind of
so loud,
early.
Bev,
Sorry,
please.
I know it's kind of early, but I do have something I need to give you. It was dropped off at like the office. And I just thought maybe you'd want to see because it's kind of if I click show to everyone, can y'all see this?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna zoom us in so maybe.
Oh.
Signed it his actual name?
Your
Um,
excessive majesty.
would you like to read
The
it out loud?
display. Yeah, I'll read it out loud
Oh,
in Bev's
no.
voice. Your excessive majesty, the display in the warehouse was daring, artful even. I had rather feared cheap imitation at best when I caught wind of this blood ball, but the coup de grace from the unreal chandelier to the live death at the hands of other attendees was transformative. Tit for tat, Thean for Briannon. What? A blank slate. Is that like a Game of Thrones thing?
No. Thean is the dead body in Alvy's
Mortician and
body, or in
And then
Alvy's.
Briannon is your old manager.
Oh
So
shit.
basically he's saying trade bodies?
Oh, I like daring and I like
Ooh.
surprises, so I look forward to your next move. Look for mine too, Callisto. This motherfucker.
Oh.
He signed his actual name too. Ugh.
Yeah, Chu will fold up the letter and like pocket it and then close the door on Bev and just be like, "Thank you, Bev. Good night," and then go back to sleep.
Oh, okay. Bye. And Bev leaves. Yeah. And so Shu goes back to bed.
Yeah.
Okay. Um
But you'll find out sometime.
She's got an alarm set that she can
Okay.
like get up at the last like 5 minutes.
Last
and
5 minutes and make
One of
that
those
time.
screaming
Yeah.
goats.
I love
Just
the idea of like
screaming in the
there's an
bedroom.
alarm system in Perch of just like you pay the goats like a minimal amount and they just come by at the right time, just like
Here's my
screaming
question:
outside your
Is
door.
Spire basically just the Flintstones, but everything's goats instead of dinosaurs?
Everything's just run by goats. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I get in my car.
I will
start-
let you guys know. I will let you guys know that I had to seriously resist the impulse to do yabba dabba do, but do like a goat bah through it. It's hard. Real hard.
Don't resist. Lean into
Shot
it.
that.
Go for it. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and you all gather at your normal meeting time, kind of 10ish in the morning, we'll say, at the kind of usual place where Lukash typically meets you, although Lukash themselves not there because, as you know, they have been targeted by the swan and therefore get rid of their token. Not here.
I dissolve their chair. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Just instantly, just like, all right,
Like, oh,
time
they're
for
not
this
here.
chair to go.
Cool. Yeah, go get out of here.
In memorandum.
Yeah.
Is Anders currently Anders again, or still Sten?
No, Anders is still stat. Yes.
Excuse me, is this another form of Anders? I do not recognize this person.
Yeah, I think the only person at the I'm sorry, just to interject before you answer, Tyler. Din did clock Anders making the transformation, and I suppose Alvi would probably recognize Sten. But FYI, Din.
And I told him to change too.
Right, that's right. But
Alvi,
Din
yes. Yep.
would have been the only one besides Alvi at the concert who actually like would recognize Sten right now.
She was like face down in the desk, does not care. Like she could be surrounded by strangers and she wouldn't notice. Right now, she's just
Did
like.
I roll fix to make you like a hangover cure, or get some raw egg?
Yeah, yeah. Do it. I'm just kidding.
You're like, yes, take more stress.
She will kind of reach into her pocket and like pull a note out and like slide it forward on the table and then go back to dying. And then she's like, read quietly, somebody. And I assume it gets passed around.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, I assume, have you introduced yourself yet, or do you want to do that, Tyler?
Nope.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, as the kind of notes passed around, Stan is gonna reach into his pocket and pull out the Swan's business card that he was given, and just kind of, so if we're doing, show and tell. Hi, I'm Stan, by the way. Yeah, yes, to answer your question, I'm one of Anders' many faces.
This one's more the seedy underbelly type. He's very nice, but he's good for getting in on things that, maybe Anders and Bertold wouldn't do that as much, Sorry, Stan. It's great to see you again.
Don't go calling me nice. I'm not nice. I can be. You know what?
I'm sorry.
No,
He's very mean and obsessed with gambling, and he drinks so much, and he's just a horrible person to be around. Wink.
Okay. Fine. That's my introduction. I'm sorry. Really appreciate it.
this is I guess not necessarily an introduction, but here we are. In any case, I would very much like to perhaps learn a little more about you and your ancestry. Hmm? Uh, and I begin doing the little tea ceremony thing again. And I'm gonna go ahead and say that. Okay. So then it appears as though your on your mother's side, great grandparents were descendants of the drowned kings. So for now, for the entirety of our current situation, I will have to roll stress for this. But yes, you no longer need to breathe.
Are we in a situation?
All right then.
Kind of in your planning mode. But this is a permanent now fact about Anders and all of Anders' many faces, that when Sam activates this ability in the future, Tyler's character will have access to perpetuity. That word.
In perpetuity.
Thank you.
I know.
Um,
My brain kept going perpetuate, and I was like, nope.
yes.
Does that mean I can close my eyes and be invisible again?
Well, maybe we want to say that, like, once we figure out what the actual situation is, then like I'll roll the stress, and then everyone will get their ability for that situation, whatever it is.
That's fine with me. So coming up, like when you do that, it will be available to you. Okay.
Sure.
Cool.
So this note, where did you get it? When did you get it? Do you have it? This is huge. It's also terrifying. And what do we do?
We talk for like 2 or 3 sessions until we figure out what we're gonna do. I don't know. I got it this morning. That Bev brought it to me because
well-
she's awesome.
There's a potential next move. I was told to, come and see him. This one, to go see if I, could get any work done for him. So maybe I could learn, next moves then.
After you go see
Getting
him.
close and
Yes, I must say I am a little perhaps disappointed in this one, because mine and Chu's combined efforts were magnifique, and he should be at our beck and call right now. But alas, he is not.
I mean, I think we wanted to tempt him for like a collaboration or to contact us. I mean, obviously, I think the next step is to get him alone. Hopefully, he doesn't break as easily as the last one. Then we can kind of pursue him up the line. Is the letter still there?
It should be in your journal now.
Note to Chu.
It's just in Chu's. Oh no, okay, I see it.
I think it's in
Ours too, yeah.
everybody's. Yeah.
I'll have it.
Display in the warehouse was during our fall.
Why do they want Thea's body, and would it be good for us to get Brandon's
I don't think
body?
they're asking for the body back. I just think they're saying like, you killed our person, I killed your
I'm
person.
dumb.
Blank
Yeah.
slate, like we're all
My
cool
brain
now,
was
right?
like, they want to trade bodies. It's fine.
I thought that
I'm-
too for like half a second. I mean, he likes daring and surprises, so
what's more surprising than walking right up to his face?
Kidnapping him,
And stabbing it?
stabbing it, and then
Okay.
kidnapping it.
Could we try something that's maybe not so I don't know, forward?
Okay, listen. We've had a guy run into the enemy base before pretty recently.
Oh no.
Didn't go super well. So
All right. Well, I don't know who that fucking idiot was, but I've been invited.
yeah.
I have an interview, if not a job offer. So
Okay.
I think I'm fine.
I say we send him in. He's
Yeah,
eager.
Do it. Go.
Thank you.
Listen, I have no
Did.
problem regardless of how this turns out.
Yes, you should go, but if you could not die or be horribly maimed, I would consider that a win.
Maybe we can like send somebody with you and you can be like, this is my mute,
Tyler's-
blind, deaf servant.
What if I just keep my eyes closed the whole time and I could just
You'd
be
be
invisible?
invisible.
I was gonna say Tyler's definitely frozen. Y'all are just like, what
Oh,
is
no.
this? What is that?
I think the last thing I got was Albie had said something to the effect of, "But what if something?"
Oh, and well, basically I told you not to leave and die and get. I said you can go, but don't die or get maimed.
Yeah.
Other stuff, and then Chu had said maybe we could send somebody with you as like your blind and deaf servant or something. And I made the joke that I could go if I just kept my eyes closed, I would stay invisible. But that would also mean I can't move. So that would, just put me on a roller and just pretend
Like
I'm
just like in a
luggage.
wagon, like it's
Yeah,
like his
I'll
companion
just
wagon.
sit there hugging my knees with my eyes closed.
All he has to do is give you a piggyback ride the entire time.
Yeah.
Just put a big coat over me. No, I'm already invisible. Why do you need a coat, Rachel? Come on. Use your logic.
For a convincing hunchback, which makes the weighty walk more convincing. Except I guess then it just looks like you're carrying someone on your back.
I mean it.
I do think that we should try to go together, but maybe just like send him in, but we could be like around. Like I don't is there a location?
Yeah, where are they? What do they do? What did they offer you? What exactly is this? What did you find out, really? I don't think I actually quite follow or understand.
Okay. Are there any other questions that you want to get off your chest, Alvi, before I, start answering? Are we good? I'm gonna look at the car. It was in. You said it was the silver quarter. And
Yeah.
is there like an address on there? I would assume.
Yeah, it's like a residential area in the Silver Quarter.
Okay. Cool.
Well, what did they seem like? Were they nice? Were they mean? Did they seem like they'd be interested in were they involved with the Swan? Were they involved with Callisto? Do they know about the murders? Are they just there for the drugs?
Well, sorry, I'm trying to. You go very fast. So they were nice, but let's all remember that niceness is not kindness. And they seemed close enough to the Swan. If the Swan was the central figure that that people were kind of milling about around, they were the kind of go-between there. They weren't really interested in the drugs other than giving out the freebies. I assume that's a related field to what they're doing. That's a later thing. I pitched myself as I was with the Mr. Winters gang in Red Row. I'm looking to move my way up in the world. I want to go from the underworld crime to the overworld crime, and that this is my journey up the ladder, so to speak. So yeah, I don't think they'll kill me in the interview. Business is cutthroat, but I doubt it's literally cutthroat in the office environment.
I say we all go together. I'll do some spying round, doing some eavesdropping. You can go in, speak to their faces. The rest of us can gather information from around the way.
I'm
I-
pretty well known. Maybe might be a problem for me. I mean, I can always just sit back here and take a nap, though, you know?
I think where exactly is the Silver Quarter in relation to Perch?
The Silver Quarter is technically high society. It's kind of the lowest rung of Spire that counts as kind of crossing the threshold up into high society. So it is higher than Perch, and whereas Perch is on the outside of the tower, the Silver Quarter is one of the main kind of rungs of the Spire.
Okay. Stenandus,
You can just call me Stan.
Okay, Stenities. We have not interfaced much, but I will recommend that perhaps I especially make. I hate volunteering myself, but I am a master of not so much disguise, but escape. And I have effectively rapid transportation within the spire itself. And similarly, if something should go awry, I could get us out of there in a flash, untraceable.
I really appreciate that. That means a lot. But that would involve you beseeching a demon. Is that right?
No, not at all. Because I've the mission training I can get us into and out of the vault at the Vim.
Oh, sure.
And similarly, today I am feeling extremely duplicitous. I could convince anyone of anything.
Sure. Let's think about do you like drugs?
They are
Do you
my.
think crime is a life that you could, see yourself being a part of?
No.
I have always walked a gray area, if you will.
Well, are you prepared to pole vault over the gray area?
Perhaps this is a difficult question.
Okay, no, this
She
is
was gonna
great.
like roll her eyes and be like, "You realize the building we're in, right? You pole vaulted well over the gray area, friend."
I've.
But this is good crime, right? It's good crime. It's crime for
Yeah.
it's crime for a good cause.
The
It's like
best
the
kind of
system
crime.
Not
Yeah,
like
my favorite kind of crime, the kind you can justify.
Something, a means to an end. Right? It's
Yeah,
only.
exactly. Tacos!
Taco time!
Tacos! Yeah!
Hello, this
You're
is Nicole. We
muted.
can't hear you.
Nicole, hello.
Nicole.
Say hi.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi.
Has already dropped off
Hello.
tacos. Taco delivery service. Nicole, Rachel
Send them to
says
New
yes,
York.
please. Also the dog.
We don't deliver number.
Rika!
Rika.
Oh, little Rika.
gun barrels out of the delivery
You
zone.
notice the
Damn.
dog shows up when the tacos show up?
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Some
that
people-
sounds like Rika.
True friend.
True friend. True friend. Oh my god. There's so much salsa and chips. Just I'm very
Eat
excited.
all of it.
I'm
Consume.
gonna.
If it's
Hell
any
yeah.
consolation, Sten, I mean, I literally just more or less prodded a crowd to innocently to kill an innocent. These things, they happen. They happen.
That's that's great. No, that's something I can fucking work with. All right, so, um, I really want to. I don't. Has Anders ever told you that if shit gets bad, that I can just cease to exist? I don't. I don't want that. Um, so to kind of safeguard myself against that, I'm willing to take you along on this excursion. You can whip a crowd up into a frenzy, or you can I can work with that. What why would I be bringing you to this meeting that is supposed to be for me only? I got to have a good enough reason.
As far as a motivation, perhaps I am an accomplice from Red Row, or
The
perhaps
muscle. Be the muscle.
Were you seen last night? Were you amongst the crowd? Could anyone see you? Yeah.
I was mostly in the shadows operating, so I do not think the crowd would have seen me. No.
All right, because the last thing we want is for us to walk in there and for the Swan to pin you as one of choose friends.
Hey, you know what? If that
Um,
does happen, tell him you're there to sell me out for the right price, and then turn against be a double agent.
Ooh, double.
Double. The classic double. Din taught me the double actually.
A quadruple agent.
Yeah.
I really like the way that you said quadruple.
Thank you. It is my accent. Okay. I admittedly, I was offering my service as a means to, should something go wrong, we have a way out. But if any other person in our little party would make a better case that they should go, by all means, I am not the most self-sacrificing kind of person.
I think he more meant to explain to them, right?
In any case.
I did, yeah.
Chu is just gonna put her head back down and just be like, "Yep."
I have no interest in meeting Listo face to face, but I won't be left behind when there's information to get. I'm not going in, but I want to go.
Let's split the party up. Let's go 2
Split
groups.
the party.
Yeah, split the party.
Didn't
Let's
we
go
promise
2
at
groups.
least?
We can go at different times, travel
Kidding.
through different means,
Mhm.
have different objectives and goals, meet up in a few weeks.
5 individual stories.
Yeah.
The last episode, they all come together in a surprising way.
No, so I'll be
You'll
Din
never
and
guess.
I.
Now that
I'll be
is a
Din and
lot
I.
of pressure on me. You'd be like, Elise, what's the surprising way that they all come together? And I'll be like,
Or siblings.
By car. You didn't know there were cars here, did you?
gonna change the overlay so it's somebody else, whoever is the worst offender of all of this, it's the GM thing for the last episode. Be like, surprise, you president.
Bring it all together.
So Din, Alvi, and I could infiltrate as staff, or I don't. Do you have an address for the business card, or is it a goat number? What is it?
I do, yeah. No,
Goat
I got the address here. I
Is
just
that a mansion or something? It's in Silver. It's in the Silver Quarter, right?
Yeah, it's
Silver
basically
Quarter,
like
yep.
a nice estate
Uh,
in the Silver Quarter, like
do
yeah.
I? Because I'm from the
There's
Silver
plenty
Quarter.
of casinos there.
Do I recognize the address at all?
You know the area. The area is nice. The kind of nice that makes you wonder if maybe Callisto is getting funding.
From like a high elf or something.
Yep. Exactly. Because although idols do make a lot of money, like this is still a kind of difficult area to kind of bust into. In terms of real estate and stuff for a lot of drow. So yeah, it's a nice area. It tends to be I mean the Silver Quarter is kind of like casinos, bars, dancers, street art, it's that kind of place. And not a ton of people make their home necessarily there who aren't artists who themselves. And a lot of the places to live in the Silver Quarter are kind of like artists who have made enough money and want to be near it, who have this kind of like these estates or these places that tend to be very also just very bizarre. They tend to be very bizarre estates. Because the art of the Silver Quarter and of the High Elves especially is just extremely wacky.
Do I know if there would be like a lot of like staff and like servants that we could like blend into for an estate like this, or does it kind of like differ on like a person to person basis?
I'm sorry, there's something in my
No, I feel that. You know what? It's okay.
It's disgusting. I'm so sorry, y'all. Okay. I had to get it out of my mouth. Okay.
The feeling.
This is, pro streaming.
Pro,
Okay.
yeah.
What I was gonna say is servants, probably some, yes. You also know that there tends to be a lot of these tend to be places that end up becoming almost like communes. So you've got like kind of and knowing what you know about the Swan, that he's kind of this magnetic personality who seems to have people who hang around him a lot. You would surmise based on the address, based on what you know of the Silver Quarter, that this is like the kind of place where, or the kind of estate where like he probably like lets his friends or followers, worshippers, whatever, kind of stay for free, groupies, yeah, to like hang out with him and basically like feed his ego and be part of his art and whatever, serve purposes for him. So some may be servants, but more largely like the people populating the estate are going to be groupies.
Okay, so with that information in mind, Chu will kind of turn to Din and be like, I know a way that we can get in and blend, but I don't want to go in with them for like a job interview or anything, so we could probably investigate like that while they do the other thing, and then, if everything starts to go wrong, we just, leave.
Release the bees.
We release the bees, and then we leave, yeah.
Just remember,
Pandemonium.
if anybody asks me questions, I'm horrible at lying.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay. Just don't talk. Problem solved.
I'm also horrible at that.
Okay, well, then when somebody asks you a question,
Release the bees?
release the bees. And then that'll change the topic, and they'll be like, why am I being swarmed by bees right now? And then you can be like, funny you should ask. Here's a great story about that, and you're good. No more questions.
Let me tell you some about bees.
Let me tell you a little bit.
Spire.
Yeah.
That's the opposite of blending in.
Yep.
So I don't mean to just interrupt this beautifully constructed non-table talk conversation to ask a table talk point. This is mostly of Elise though. What so far has our group's connection been between the Swans, dastardly stuff, and the demons? Have we actually drawn a physical connection other than, what the tools were used for as far as like harvesting the hearts and stuff? Like,
No?
Sorry, you're chewing.
No, it's okay. I had to also get to my I was making sure you were done before I unmuted and crunched anyone's ear. So no, there hasn't necessarily been any direct correlation. If
Because I don't know why I am assuming they're related, but I
there-
don't know if Edic is
It's
assuming
because he
this.
took the heart and there was a bunch of sulfur and stuff. That was
yeah,
the
the
connection that
sulfur
we
was the
made.
connection at the beginning. I think you have a lot more information at this point that maybe with roll and investigate. I think anybody can make this roll. It doesn't necessarily have to be Edic. So I'll let you all pick as a party who's going to roll.
I do have investigate.
It's going to be investigate and crime.
Fuck yeah, crime.
Okay.
She pulls the knife
I
out.
have both. Do
She's ready.
you have? Does anyone else have both?
I would like to
Either.
mastery.
I would like to maybe ask I'll beseech not a demon but Elise. I do have like the always knack of like if I'm dealing with anything like occult magic specifically with demons, I do get a bonus to that.
No, in this case that is not what you stand to learn about.
Okay.
We trying to find out?
Sam's question broadly about the connection between whatever is going on with like the demonic stuff happening in New Heaven and the Swan and the murders. I've kind of you have a lot more information that but some things I would also have to like feed you. And so this would be kind of that.
Is this something I could use mental directory for? Where I could ask you the answer to a question and you could tell me where to find it? Or is that less this kind of like open-ended question doesn't really fit for that?
You're still muted.
I'm not muted.
It's highlighting green.
There,
but
now
yeah,
we can
There we
You
go.
can hear me?
Here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes my headset really hates me. Unfortunate. It does this thing where like if I use the mute thing, I think it has to do with it being extremely staticky because of how dry it is. But anyway, if I use the mute like toggle on my headset, then sometimes like my entire audio and mic just die on my headset and I have to unplug it. Anyway. So Rachel, I asked you to tell me what it does, and then I didn't hear a word of your answer because my headset was like,
Oh,
nah.
I didn't hear you ask me that, so I didn't answer you.
Mental directory. Could you remind me what the phrasing
it says
is?
you can smell knowledge. I roll investigate in occult, and I get to ask the GM a question. On a success, they don't have to tell you the answer, but they do have to tell you the most straightforward way of getting one. For example, you can't know the combination to a safe, but you can know that it's written down on a scrap of paper tucked into the overseer's diary.
You could do that. I think it will turn up maybe a slightly different answer than what the investigate roll and crime roll that I asked for would turn up.
Do
So
both, then.
you're welcome to do
Yeah.
both.
Why don't we do the roll first and then the question?
Okay.
So right now, with Sten's help, it's a 3d10.
So crime,
Investigate and base.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll it.
It says rolling the dice.
Yeah, it's very slow tonight.
Yeah. There it goes.
I got a 7.
Which is success at a cost.
Good.
Okay. So what the note from the Swan to Chew that had the discussion, or it mentioned Brianin in it, reminded you of another conversation in this room where it came up that the death of Brianan seemed to in many ways be consistent with the other deaths of the swan, but also had a personal element to it in that the swan had recently, now that you know for a fact that the swan is Callisto, you remember that right before Callisto killed Chu's manager, Chu had, in a public way, kind of said something disparaging about the swan. And so the fact that Brianan was then killed subsequently, like the next day or whatever it was, has this personal feel to it. So in remembering that, you and Sten kind of take a minute to shuffle through other reports of the murder, the various murders. Remember, the swan has killed 8 people. And you know that Lukash is the intended 9th target. And as you start to kind of like say, okay, if we take Brianan out of the picture, then we, maybe these victims are connected to things. And as you start to connect the victims, what you start to see is besides Brianan, you have more kind of understanding now of who might be feeding the swan his targets. And you do think that these are people who could have used various means to be investigating or wanting to stop the flow of sulfur into Perch, or who you now have a connection with the Sky Whale Guild, and you recognize that one of these people is connected to the Sky Whales. These are people who, in some way, stood to prevent the successful smuggling or the successful dumping of sulfur, right, to and from New Heaven, in a way that, like, you are now connecting that whoever is feeding the swan victims, whoever is saying kill this person next, very well could be the person who is orchestrating all of this stuff going on, because they want these people out of their way. They want more breathing space or less heat on them or whatever it is. And these people that Callisto has been killing have been potentially victims who stood to hinder progress. Does that all make sense?
Yeah. Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think Sam would have been able to put that together, but
No,
maybe
well,
Eddick would
you
have.
didn't have like all the reports and things. Like, I never gave you like newspaper clippings from every single one of the things, or
Right.
like, that kind of stuff. So that's why, like, at this point I was like, man, you have enough knowledge of everything else that, like, if you were to like see all those things, if your characters actually could see all of those things, I think you'd piece it together at this point. So
Are you gonna roll?
yeah, I was thinking about that. So you are supposed to take stress from this, because of the 7 success at a cost. I think what I would like to do, if people concur, is kind of pocket that at a cost for something related to this that comes up, because I don't think that, like, digging through these reports necessarily could, take so many paper cuts you bleed, right? But I do kind of want to, like, keep that cost in mind of, like, what this information, and maybe apply the stress at a later point, if that's fine with you. I know that kind of, like, takes a little bit of the like, oh god, this hanging feeling, but as long as everyone's chill with that. Otherwise I have to, like, kind of orchestrate a, like, and then yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You get a
Massive
headache
paper
from
cut.
looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah, you get a headache. Okay.
So did you want to ask a question now, Alvi?
Yeah. Do we have any? Is there something else that would be good to find out about, like, the swan and his connection? Who, if we could figure out who the high elf is, or what do you think would be a good question?
I think just learning their names important here.
The high elf that's, like, giving them their orders.
You can do a lot with a name.
Okay. So how about for mental directory, what I will ask is, who is it that is above the swan and giving them their orders? If we can figure out a way to find that out. Does that sound reasonable?
Yes.
So I do want to also just kind of say that, a high elf is like basically conscripting this like high profile murdering artist to do their bidding, which, I mean, yeah, high elves have like a sense of flair and whatnot that is often their also downfall. But like, I don't know. I guess I just it feels weird, like that someone that's doing something so big as in like doing demonology stuff would also be working with a very high profile serial killer.
Well, there was that. We got that information about the dying elfier woman
Right.
who didn't like the, live forever surgery and was looking for another way.
And from everything you found out too, it seems to me like it's pointing that there is somebody above them and that they're not fully the one in charge. Like I think that we were operating off
Yeah.
of maybe they were the one in charge. So maybe it could just be like, can we find out who is above the swan giving them orders or directing them or something?
And Callisto Brox, do we know if he is a drow?
Yes, you do know he is
Okay.
a drow.
Okay.
Does
Yeah,
that seem
cool.
feasible, Elise?
Yeah.
As a
So go
question?
ahead and do the roll. What is it? It's
Okay.
occult and
It's
investigate.
occult and investigate, yeah. So I'll
So
have
3 to
3.
10. That's a
Nice.
10, which is a
Yes!
critical success.
Yay!
Which is very nice. So here's what
I
I'll
don't take
say.
any stress for this either. Like it's not a. That's nice. Okay.
Well, with a critical, yeah, because it's so
But I
cold.
mean, oh yeah, I
so
guess
you
sometimes
could
it's
take
roll,
you
or
could
there's
take
a thing where
mind
you
stress
just
or
straight up
yes,
do
yeah.
success. Yeah, I see. Yeah.
You kind of listen to Edic and Anders kind of piece this together, and as you're kind of listening and like your brain is working quickly as well, you're kind of you connect things back to the mistress, the person that you met up in New Heaven. Although I don't know that. Yeah, because she was there. You were in the group that encountered her with the fight.
Yes.
And do you remember that she kind of did a lot of the orchestrating or the commanding of the groups in that you ran into up there in general? And you think that you could find out who she is, and you could find out who she is by tracing how the because gnolls are very well tracked in Spire because there's a war against gnolls happening in other parts of the world. So gnolls are kind of a known enemy. So the fact that they are in Spire is a way that you think you could track. She basically would have to be, as their boss person, accountable for them. And that is records kept in government offices, which means you can go and apply for and find out that information through kind of legal means of wanting to know, like, I'm sorry, who are these null workers? Like, why are they in my city? You can kind of Karen this out that way.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Would I know either like who might be employing gnolls or some other like dot connector from my time during my durance before I joined Din?
Let me think about that.
Okay. It's not urgent, I think.
Yeah.
So
I think that
especially given Chu's like state of mind, I think she would probably like come to it later. So
Yeah, I'll think about that because it's possible, but I want to check a couple details kind of your backstory.
Since we now are kind of getting a sense of the situation, can I go ahead and roll my D3 mind stress?
For activating
Doing
everybody's
the house
abilities.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean if y'all are gonna like head out to the Silver Quarter and start kind of investigating things there
Yeah, I think
and
we were waiting until we were going to be leaving.
yeah. Yeah, I will say like, if you head to the Silver Quarter, then yes, that would be an appropriate time to do that.
Okay.
So I'll
right.
share all that information about the mistress and the gnolls and the stuff that I totally just learned.
And Din does want to begrudgingly use Dress for Success on Sten.
Okay. Okay. Um so the group of you, Sam rolled 1 mind stress for Edic.
And who has Danksy's charm? Okay.
Do you need it?
Do you how much does that put you at?
I'm good.
You have resistance.
I'm still at 0.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, so the group of you head out to start making your way to the Silver Quarter. And that's where we're going to take our break. So, we will reconvene in the Silver Quarter after our break, with everybody's drow ancestry abilities active from Edic's ability, and we'll go from there. So, yeah, give us about 10 minutes. So about 8, 10, 10, 10, depending on where in the country you are. And we'll be back to see how things go in a brand new part of Spire that I don't think we've ever been in. So
No.
very
Ooh.
exciting stuff. All right. See you in 10.
Bye, everybody.
Hello, here we are, back. Only 6 to 7 minutes later than we said we would be.
Usually the case.
You know, that's fine. That's what we do. We should just start saying that they're 15-minute breaks and just like own that because
And then take 20 minutes.
no.
It's gonna take 20 then. We have to say 10.
We have to say 10 so that it Okay. Hi everybody. We're back. We're going to smash cut fast travel unless there's anything y'all wanted to try to do in the Vermisian or as you're kind of traveling, or did you want to take a sky whale? But with all of that, I just figure we could just like, jump us over to the Silver Quarter because we've traveled through Spire so many times that we don't really need to travel.
And now we do it
I wanna
extra
narrate-
fast.
You what?
And now we do it extra fast.
Well, there's things to know about that maybe we, like if y'all want to use the what am I doing?
I'd rather not take mind stress by going into the vault to travel, if that's
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
y'all can take a sky whale for sure. Like it's not far. It wouldn't take too much money. They're
We're not in a
regular.
rush now, but when we're escaping, maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Before we do anything, Shu does definitely want to disguise. At least, like, I don't know if I can just like roll for like makeup and like a mask or like some shit, but
Yeah. You can. I think this would be a sneak roll, so you can roll sneak.
very sneaky. Can
You
I
are
get Din to
headed
help me?
to high society, so you can roll high society and sneak.
I have that. Din, help me be sneaky.
I'm gonna use it on Sten.
No,
'cause
just
he's going
help me
in
with
for
like
the
my
info.
makeup and stuff.
We'll just like give a roll.
No, yeah, well just give me like your sneak proficiency.
Yeah.
Do you have
There
high
it goes.
society then?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Of high
All
society.
right, so that is
that's
a
a 10.
10, which is
10.
a critical success. So
I killed the swan.
yeah, yep, that's it. The game's no, I was gonna, yeah. So you and Din kind of take a few minutes to redo your look, do some makeup, may do whatever you need to do, and you're not like not Chew anymore, like, but you are definitely toned down. People wouldn't just glance at you and know who you are for sure. So, and it's quite good. It's to the point where it would take someone doing a pretty thorough like who is that kind of look, given your critical success. So yes, and then remind us, Sarah, what the ability is that Sten is getting the benefit of here.
So Sten will roll with mastery on compel and deceive checks for the next situation. And it takes an hour helping to prepare before the endeavor, picking out clothes and advising them on methods of approach. So, I figure like as we're traveling, I am just condescendingly, because like I know all about, their low society and I know all about high society because of my time working for the elf here during my durance, and then I stayed on to keep working with them. And so I'm just like, well, you have to know this and you have to know that. And there's also like a kind of clothing montage where I'm just like grabbing things from stalls along the way and like holding them up and like, and then finally over time we get the perfected look.
Can we get a quick, like, as we're leaving, a quick, like, up to date on Ken, Dan, and Itchy Jim in the wake of last night?
Oh, Ken, Dan, and Itchy Jim are sleeping off massive hangovers. They're
Good.
still just peacefully. I think they share a flat. They're just, they tend to do a lot of cuddling. Just, buddies, just three buddies who
In their
cuddle
shark onesies.
in their shark onesies. And they are just snuggled up together in their shared apartment, sleeping off a killer hangover. Yeah, for sure.
I think at the concert, Din did see that Ken like accidentally did some sulfur, and so like he's just like wrecked.
Yeah,
Ken's real
definitely,
mess.
definitely wrecked. Yeah.
I would also like to remind you, Elise, that my ability means that I cannot be surprised or ambushed, which I think is important.
Yes, thank
Maybe.
you. Thank you for the
Guys,
reminder.
just an interview. It's gonna be fine.
What could go
Is
wrong?
it, Tyler?
What could
is
go
it-
wrong? No, just like I hate the when we need to escape, or like when we just like we'll just let this one thing go fine. Like let's not doomsday prep for everything. It's I in my soul am, but like it's fine.
Yeah, so
I also can't be surprised though, just so you know.
okay, we're not getting surprised. All right, I'm
I
gonna
gotta
put
breathe. So
here's the map cam so that people at home can see the beautiful art from
Oh, this is so pretty.
yeah, this is the from the book. What's the Adrian Stone and remember the other was there an artist's name?
This would be Adrian,
This would be
because
Adrian.
it was the other person that did the map work, which I don't
Oh,
remember
right,
the name
yeah.
of right now.
Okay. So Adrian Stone's beautiful art from the book, which again, massive shout out and thanks to the folks at Rowan Rook and Deckard for letting us use their art and everything in the streams. We appreciate. So, so this is the Silver Quarter art. As just a kind of reminder, the Silver Quarter is this kind of, insofar as Spire has a tourist destination, the Silver Quarter is it. I would love to have just the best music picked out to accompany this, and let me tell you, I tried and didn't find, and I'm sorry. So just imagine a bustling city street, buskers yelling out. We've got stall owners everywhere, just kind of yelling at you for trinkets, doodads, things that you can buy to give back to people that you are that you've kind of you've traveled up, and you can give them like I went to the Silver Quarter and all I got was this lousy t-shirt kind of thing. It's definitely this kind of very web-like. It's high society. This counts as high society, but it's kind of the lowest rung of high society. It's too gaudy, too ostentatious, too showy for and maybe just a little too, I don't know, crass for like high elves who really have like class and money to want to live there. But it's certainly where anyone, a lot of artists, a lot of idols, a lot of drow who have a lot of money but can't quite bust into the higher tiers of high society live. And so most people here wear masks, but it's kind of again, like it's probably one of the more quote unquote cosmopolitan areas of Spire, in that like you have people, kind of a mix of people of all types, so masked and unmasked drow, masked Alfir. It's extremely rare anywhere in Spire to see an unmasked Alfir. With and certainly not this high up in Spire. Like if you were, I think in Derelictus, like there's like one or two kind of thing. And but up here where you could be seen by people who matter, all of the Elfir wear their masks. And there's certainly plenty of kind of servants and groupies of artists and performers, servants of Elfir who are running around to do trade and things in this area. And that's where you disembark from your Skywhale journey, having the hour concluding with Din kind of giving her last minutes of overly pushy advice to Den about the proper way to comport himself when going to this estate.
And in the meantime, while we're walking around, Chu is definitely going to be snatching up some like number one like fan of Callisto, and like other random like swag that she can find, like fan swag that's just like totally random about him. Is that
Like
fair?
buying things, or
Yeah, like buying. Yeah, I mean stealing, but like buying.
Okay.
Depends on what I can get away with.
Okay. You can roll sneak in high society.
I'll just buy them. Thanks.
Okay. You can mark a silver stress.
Okay. I mark it.
Okay.
So I have to say, like with Callisto, like my brain keeps thinking Calypso, and so like
Is that their music brand?
We
Is that where you were
lost
going?
Right.
Sam again.
Just
He's
imagine that Sam's
always
singing Calypso the whole time right now.
Ava, do you happen to
Cool.
know? Oh, I can hear you now.
what was just said is in fact the case. So like that's his brand of music is Calypso music. That's all that happens.
Well, Tyler, you're the GM currently. Oh man, it never lasts quite
Well,
long enough for you to
it
get
never
anything.
does. I'm sorry. One day.
One day. Yeah, so Ava, do you know offhand if you need to mark silver or if you have resistance?
I have 1 resistance to
Okay,
silver.
so you're still at 3 stress.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and you are now in the Silver Quarter. You're kind of near the Sky Whale docks. Some of the most kind of this is definitely like the most popular area to kind of get dropped off in. You're near a lot of the clubs. You're near kind of not too far. It's a little deeper in. There's an extremely well-known, popular casino called the Mermaid. That's famous for having never had anyone successfully steal from it. And yeah, that's kind of those are I would say Chu, Din, probably Edic have all been here before. I don't know Anders or any of his covers. You could tell me.
Stan frequents the Mermaid a lot.
Okay. Sten gambles.
No.
That's right,
Yes.
Sten gambles. And then Alvi, I don't know if you wanna.
I can't, unless you can think of like a reason of what would bring me here. Probably not really.
Because does have a 2-drink minimum.
Alvi can only handle 1 drink, so
Alvi's drunk for this entire encounter.
Alvi can handle half a drink.
Yeah. So there you go. That's where you've kind of disembarked. Yeah, I would say Sten then knows probably pretty easily how to navigate at least to the Mermaid from here. As for navigating to the kind of residential area, I think Chu could lead you in that direction. It wouldn't be hard to get you there. Yeah.
Sure. So yeah, I guess we're off. Yeah, to the residential area.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just for Ava's sake, Chu kind of takes you, leads you through, and you all, yeah, get to the residential area pretty easily. And uh, it's not hard to, I would say, you don't necessarily have to roll up to the gates together. So if you guys want to kind of make a decision on like how you would approach, but here, you're near the kind of estate area. The estates out here are bizarre. Again, this is like this is probably the nicest area in the Silver Quarter for living. A lot of very wealthy drow and a few kind of like extremely eccentric Elfir live in this area. The estates tend to have large, kind of strange gardens on the outside perimeters, and then in the centers are usually the homes. Is the typical kind of layout of property in this area. And most of them are also gated unto themselves. They have privacy fences and things that go all the way around and are quite tall, so you can't really see into the estate very easily from the streets or from neighboring estates.
Yeah, I guess just talking before we would reach that kind of main area.
Do we want me to go in first? Do you want me to go in last? Are we staggering? Are we all going at the same time? What's the
I think
general
we should
idea?
probably head in first with Edic,
This
and
is,
we'll find our way in.
I feel that this is best. But I will follow your lead, Sir Sten.
Just
Sir, my
don't
pleasure.
call me sir. Don't call me sir. That I don't like that at all.
Alvi does like
They
an
call
extremely elaborate bow, like just like waves her arms like in a circle and does the bow like that. Just to
I realized I said sir when I meant monsieur, but here we are.
Here we are.
It was purposeful. You did it on purpose.
Do you like drugs? If I gave you
Me?
something to hold on to, yeah, just to keep up appearances. Like this isn't a person with nefarious intentions. In fact, they're they're a known drug addict. Well, not addict. We don't know if you're an, but like a general user.
No,
Well,
sounds like
I use lots of drugs. This is not a question.
oh my god, that sounded like the most like narky thing to ever say. Drugs.
I do
We
tons of
believe
drugs.
you.
I use so many drugs, guys.
One
like,
crack,
Oh.
please.
whatever.
One whole marijuana.
Oh.
Also, I'm sorry. I should have done this before we left, but let's get a quick weapons check. What are we all working with here?
Bees.
Okay, right.
I don't brandish it, but like I kind of pat my hip and there's a crossbow there.
Okay.
Din kind of like puts her arms on her hips and like emphasizes like on her hip she has a dueling pistol.
Chu will kind of take her hand and just be like, look at the face.
This
Hello?
is my weapon.
I know what you can do, right? That's a weapon. You're correct.
I also have the
Um,
demon, so that is that.
I have a dagger, but I'm
Excellent.
very bad with it.
Oh, all right.
I've never had to use it
I'm
before,
gonna-
so
And Alvi, the pen is mightier than the sword, right?
it's true. I could write a very sternly worded letter to get out of a situation if I need to.
all right. Alfie, would you like? What do I have here? I'll be honest. I don't want to give you my gun because it's kind of illegal.
No.
I also have it. Wow, I have 2 illegal weapons on me. I have an
Yeah,
illegal
that
crossbow
sounds right.
and an illegal pistol, an illegal winter gang pistol, specifically.
I mean, we probably won't need weapons as much as y'all might.
If
Like
you want to
said, bees.
if you want to lend me one of your illegal pistols for not pistols, your crossbow for appearances, I will give it back when I am done.
Yeah. Like some street cred,
Drugs and
yeah,
illegal
sure, why not?
weapons.
Drugs and illegal weapons. You're my weapons guy.
How much better of a way is there to convince people that you're a criminal than to just be a criminal?
Now you're thinking.
Now we're thinking.
Best-
The ultimate
Best way
cover.
to be a criminal is to do the crimes. Yes.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not really a cover. I'm a diehard, criminal at heart. My heart is a shriveled,
Oh, sure.
a shriveled. You
look
don't know.
Charms marshmallow, and I'll like pinch your cheeks and then walk away.
I love this development.
All right.
I'm so glad that
All
Alvin got
right.
to introduce you.
Okay. Wow. This has been a hard day for me. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. So, uh, um, Etik, you're gonna take this illegal crossbow. You're not gonna say much. You're my weapons guy. I figured, I should bring in one of or maybe you're a fence. I don't know. I'll make it up as we go along. Just come. Let's go. He is very very flustered right now.
Yes, I agree. Let's not dilly dally. Let's just go and meet with this fun. Yes, this is good.
Okay, great. So we're gonna do the sauntering up to the door.
Okay. You do the sauntering up to the door. I presume. Yeah, you're at the kind of the gates out front. And
Sure.
you I presume knock or otherwise announce yourselves.
Yes.
And
Uh,
there's
Shoot your gun. That's our criminal announcement.
Ooh, I got drugs and illegal weapons here. Yeah.
and it a little, a short wait later, the door opens, and the gate kind of slides open, and there's a person. They look not too dissimilar, although I guess was Edic there? I think Edic was there. Edic, you would kind of see someone who looks kind of similar to the guards like the mercenary guards you ran up into in New Heaven. Open the door. You presume just like a paid guard at the gate. And she's a drow woman. She's got kind of heavy scuffed armor. Very muscular, short hair, kind of buzzed, and she looks over the two of you, and just kind of sizes you up for a minute and is like, can I help you? Are you
I'm gonna
lost?
I'm gonna produce the business card,
Mhm.
and show it to them. I believe I was given an invitation to stop on by, so here I am.
She takes it and she kind of flips it over and looks at it, and says, "Oh, EO sent you, huh? Okay, yeah, come on in." And she gestures you through and kind of looks up and down the street, makes sure that you're not like, nobody's following you or doing anything. And once you're inside the grounds, she closes the gate again. And she kind of gestures you up a walk. There's this kind of winding path through some very expensive and well kept topiary. It's just very nice edges and things, and you are
Mhm.
and like bizarre things, and some of it is made in such a way. Would either of you have ever been to Amaranth?
Yes, a lot of my backstory was I was a pet to an elf here, and I
Yes.
actually went to the gardens that Alvi worked in. So yeah.
Yes. Okay. And Edic, would you have spent any time in Amaranth? Would have had reason to go?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, listen, my pop-up artworks happen all over the place.
I'm everywhere.
Yeah, Amaranth probably is not your most frequented place for that. I think that the risk, and not to say like that you can't have ever been, but just FYI, like the especially if you're kind of in the same vein as like actual Banksy, like an artist of kind of like the people. I think Amaranth would be a place that like the risk of getting caught is like super high, and like very very much like you could be like disappeared and killed kind of thing, for like the payoff of like it's only high elves who ever are there pretty much, besides people on their dances. So
Oh, he does it. He does it.
fair. Yeah, and so okay, then both of you would kind of recognize that some of these gardens, some of the ways that the like the plants and things have been shaped and everything are very reminiscent of the gardens that that high elves keep up in Amaranth. Some of the plants are different because Amaranth is freezing. It is kept at extremely cold temperatures, and Silver Quarter is not. So plants that can't grow there or do grow here, and vice versa. And so there are some plants you recognize and some you don't, but it is extremely bizarre looking and kept in such a way that as you kind of look around, knowing what you know, I would say, especially for Anders slash Sten, about these kinds of things, is that it is likely that these gardens are tended to also by gnolls. And so
Sure.
you don't necessarily see any, but that is something that kind of pings you as you're walking along.
Interesting.
Talking about baseball in the chat.
Are we being let?
Okay, just checking.
I dare you to
And Sarah's
use the
incorrect
third
opinion.
base rule or something. I forget what it was.
That my dad did for my master's thesis.
Yeah.
The inside fly rule.
Are my spidey senses tingling? We're not getting ambushed.
Nope, you're not getting ambushed.
Okay.
You're just walking up these bizarre ass garden trails to the main house.
Um,
I'm sorry, Tyler, did you ask something?
I was just going to ask if we were being led there, or if we were just kind of meandering until we found
you were
the
pointed up the road by the guard at the gate,
Okay.
and just told to go. You were not given any further
Great.
instructions.
Okay, cool.
Nor is anyone escorting you.
Sure. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so we're just going until we reach, I guess, the main house.
Okay. Yeah, you get to the main house. Kind of rinse and repeat the process here. This time instead of a hired guard, some like you knock and the door kind of gets flung open like not very long after, and it's just like three people who are like like picture like the party goers and like the barely have slept. It's probably too early for them to have gone to bed yet. Like they partied through the night and they haven't crashed yet. Just like completely just gone on drugs, like throwing the door open, like seeing you and being like, "Oh my god, like I didn't even know you were coming." And then like the other one is like, "That's not," and like they, like realizing that you're not the person that the first person thought you were. And they're all just kind of like falling over each other, just drunk, high, whatever. I probably haven't slept in a day and a half, strung out beyond belief. And they're just like kind of laughing. They're like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." Hi. Are you like
yes,
here?
we all know you are.
Huh.
Okay, did
Hi.
you like have okay? The other one is like, "Oh." And the third one kind of like smacks the other two out of the way and is like, "Are you like here to see someone, or do you want to just if the kitchen's down that way and like
I'm gonna produce the card and just hold it out so that they can look.
Okay.
I don't want them taking this for
Yeah.
fear that I never see it again.
um
I'm here to see the swan by invitation.
like the swan or like EO, because that's like EO's card. I mean, it's the swan's card, but it's like, okay, so the way that it
EO
works
told
is
me to stop by.
okay, cool. And then like this person just turns and like hollers into the house like, "Ew!" And
Oh
like
my
the other
god.
two just start yelling with her, and like
Oh.
now there's just three extremely drunk high people just like yelling for EO. Who does you see after a minute kind of come down the stairs. And she's dressed much differently today. Like, yes, at the concert, she was, fully hooded and you can only kind of partially see some of her. Now she's dressed just in like kind of very normal average clothes. She looks quite regular compared to these like extremely high drunk revelers. She looks almost businesslike. A little bit of flair to her where like
Mhm.
like Bev does not have flair, right? Bev wears very practical. And she sees you, and she's, oh, Sten, and she comes over and she like literally like kind of shoos the other people away. She's like, go to
Sure.
bed, God, and like shoves them out of the way. And she's like, oh, Sten, wow, made it here real fast, huh?
I like to be punctual. Yes.
Great. Well, you're welcome to come in. Who's this? And looks at Eddic.
This is my business associate, um, Sturge. He is a wonderful fence. I figured, if you've got, I'm still not quite exactly sure what it is you do here, but I thought I'd bring contact in, might be able to help. He's not great, but he's what I can offer.
Go ahead and make a deceive roll. This will be
Sure.
deceive, either high society or crime.
Great.
Um,
I have.
Can he add my knack to that?
I'm already rolling 4, so
Okay.
we'll be good. I
Yeah.
hope.
Mm.
Watch four ones.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time.
Okay, we do
Oh,
have
yeah.
a critical
That's 10.
success in there.
Right.
So a 10 is a full critical success, no stress. Yeah, EO, from your 3 critical successes the night before, continues to just be kind of charmed by your, somewhat blundering, because I don't know that like bringing a business associate to this would actually necessarily be the most like kind of fly under the
I
radar
know.
choice, right? But she,
Yep.
but EO
That's
thinks
what I
that you're
said.
EO just thinks you're hilarious, like and
Great.
um
Great.
and I think that like really the deception here is like once again Sten just seems to be like a little bit of like a hapless in over his head, and she thinks that's
Yep.
so like she is very entertained
Sure, I'll
by
take
that.
it. I'll
And
take it.
and she kind of like laughs and is like and what did you say Sam's name is right now? Sturge?
Sturge.
Sturge.
And
Like
she
sturgeon without the N.
yes, like sturgeon without the N. She looks over at
He's an out bird. Okay, or fish. So,
Well,
like,
well,
what
well
is
there's
sturgeon? Bird
there's
or
also
fish? I
like
can't believe I get
Sturge. Like, isn't that like a Norse god or something?
I don't
Anyway,
know. I just want to think of you as an out bird / fish that I can't remember because you're not in. I'm gonna just
it's a
stop.
fish. It's a
I'm a
fish.
Thanks. Why did I think it was a bird?
Who knows?
Birds are great. Birds are here. Birds are here.
Birds
I'm
are
a really smart
everywhere.
person.
Yeah, and she kind of like laughs and brings you in and kind of puts her arm around you very friendly, and looks at you, Sturge, and or Edic, and says, well, Sturge, a fence, huh? Never hurts. What do you kind of, you got a specialty, you got a place, you got a territory? What's your deal?
He's learning. He's riding my coattails. Just
Oh, okay. What an auspicious
Ugh.
business partnership you've brought here, Sten. And she kind of pulls you in further, and she's like, "Okay, listen. We tell me a little bit more. You said you run in what crew is it down in Red Row?
you mean Mr. Winters? His
Yeah,
gang. Yeah.
yeah. So when you're, like, what's your kind of role in Mr. Winter's gang?
Well, I do a lot of um blackmailing. When it comes to it, I get information for him. And if I really need to, then roll a few heads down the alley.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
I'm a fixer.
Fixer. Okay, all right. So, you said, what do we even do here? So you've got to think, Red Row, it's all so do or die. It's all so, oh, what's the word? Like, everything is so high stakes, but in like a really mundane way. You know what I mean?
It's all very primal.
Yeah, it's almost primal, primitive even compared to what we do up here. You see, what goes on here is we don't need money the way that Mr. Winter's gang might need money. We don't need access to drugs the way Mr. Winter's gang might need access to drugs. We like to be fixers for people who can give us those things and be so kind of important to them that they really can't be without us. Does that make sense, Sten?
That makes perfect sense. Yeah. So
So, all of this, and she kind of gestures around, and like as she does so, like another group of people who seem to just have gotten up are kind of like, stretching and yawning and walking by. And you see in their midst that same very tall figure that you saw yesterday. And remember, like, all these body or facial augmentations that EO has, this other person seemed to have. And that's kind of where you start matching up that you think this is that person. You think this is the same person. And he's this kind of tall drow, those silver implants on cheekbones, the very chiseled, sharp cheekbones, pointed chin, the row of metal like above his brows, very similar to Eos. And he walks by kind of in this group of other people who are all kind of seeming to have just roused from sleep. And he's kind of wearing this like very lightweight kind of silky robe thing that he's very casually just thrown on, and walks by, and he kind of like makes eye contact with EO, and she kind of gives him one of those like up nods, and his eyes kind of slide over onto you, and takes you in for a second, and looks over at Eddic, and then carries on towards another part of the house. And EO, while this kind of happens, she has paused her explanation of everything. And I'm going to need Eddic and then to roll resist.
Oh, that's what I took a thing in.
It sure is.
Well, Eddic and I should have switched. Not places.
You can also you can add occult to this, but no, Sam, it does not trigger Eddic's occult with
Demonic
relation
thing.
to demonic.
Okay, so that's going to be 2d10. Why did it only roll 1?
Yeah,
Oh, because that was
that was me.
us.
Oh. All right, I'm going to hold on. I'm going to use my ability.
Okay.
Isn't 6 a success?
6 is a success at a cost.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay,
Yeah.
then never mind.
Okay.
Well, hold on. We roll all dice. You can. Okay,
have
never
to
mind.
roll
I'm gonna just leave it as a success at a cost.
Okay. So this D6 will be for Sten. I roll ones on all of my stress rolls. Watch me roll like a 3 though on the D3. So
But good, because we need Sten to stay alive.
yes. So Sten, or that puts you at that's mind stress. Do you have a resistance there?
I certainly do.
Okay. So you're still just at 1 total stress. And then the
Yep.
D3 will be the downgraded for the successful, but at a cost. See, this is why I hate this. Is Sam technically rolled better and is taking 3 stress because of my rolls here, but
3 stress to mind.
3 mind stress to Sam.
Okay, so I'm only at 1 actually.
Playing games work sometimes.
That's true. That's just how it is. So, good rolls for y'all. Well, I mean, bad for Sam in terms of maxed on the die, but good in terms of it doesn't trigger fallout because you're only at 1. And she EO kind of like looks over at you and kind of like laughs at the looks on your faces, which both of you kind of like pale and like visibly a bit in pain from this. And she's like, yeah, he kind of has that effect on people the first time that they meet him, but don't worry, you get used to it. It doesn't do that every time. And
Hmm.
and yeah, so she kind of takes you into further into the house, and like what you start to notice is that there's like a theme in this house of like there are silky gauzy kind of like curtains hanging in doorways everywhere. There's a lot of like flowers that are kind of like intentionally like losing their petals. And so there are just like petals everywhere. Some are kind of shriveled up and dried from having been there for a week or two. Some are like very fresh, but it looks like there's just kind of a constant rotation of like flowers that are left to like fully like wilt until they lose their petals. So that there's just kind of constant flower petals throughout the house. And she takes you into this room that's just kind of like the smell of the flowers in here is actually somewhat overwhelming because there are so many of them. And
Mhm.
she gestures for you to sit on a couch, and she sits down as well. And she kind of um, drums her fingers against her own hand, and she's like, "So, Sten and Sturge, what is it that you could bring here? You know, you want to be part of our operation? Um, we just want to know kind of what special je ne sais quoi might you have for us."
I am happy to go first. Je ne sais quoi you say. I happen to see very much a reflection of myself in your motifs. You say you like to be important to people, but I like to make myself an indelible mark on people, on places, on things. I am a very important person when it comes to things like the drug trade and smuggling through their mission. As well as I happen to peddle weapons as well, and I kind of just start tossing around the illegal crossbow in my hand a little bit.
Okay.
And as I am certain my partner can assure you, I am very good at what I do, or else there is no reason why I would be in the first place.
Very well. And out of curiosity, is your the eidolon, the pendant, the penrose?
Yeah, the Penrose
Thank you.
triangle, yeah.
Is it visible right now?
I don't think Edic would have put it away, yeah.
Yeah, so she listens to all this, and she kind of leans forward, and she just reaches out. She doesn't touch it, but she gestures at it, kind of makes it very clear that she's pointing at your necklace. And what is that?
She's a pendant. It was a gift from a dear friend of mine.
Interesting. And we'll come back to that. And she turns to Sten. And your resume in brief?
Oh, my resume in brief. Well, in short, I'm a man who brings people together. If you need your shadow to stretch just a little further into a certain area of society, I can probably put you in connection to someone who I might know there, who might be able to open a door, grease a palm or two. Um, Another thing I'll say is, a better question for you is what do you lack? Because every organization, no matter how powerful, lacks something. And I'm a fella who fills in the gaps.
Hmm. Okay. What do we lack? Well, I wonder if either of you have much connection to anybody up in New Heaven.
I certainly do.
Very well. Um, yeah, stay here for a minute. And she stands up and leaves the room. And a minute or two passes. If you wanted to do anything while she's gone, you have like a minute or two max, but to do something
Sure.
or
Um, I'm just gonna lean over to my good coworker Sturge. Um, the for the record, I just want to let you know I hate Bertold. Every fiber of my being hates that little bastard. But we're gonna put him to good use.
You know,
Bertold.
a means to an end. No.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely Edic like
oh no.
Oh no!
Edic
What
something.
does Edic do?
Dan is absolutely the character of Anders's that Alvy gets along with the least. But also doesn't realize it at all. Like thinks that she's charming as fuck and that Stead really enjoys all the things that she does. Stead is just like, fucking bitch, I swear to God. He
Back.
throws such a perfect moment. He can hear everything we're saying.
That's true. Yeah. Sam? Hello?
Sam?
Sometimes we get it back when it's video. Oh, hi.
Am I here? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So was your comment about like we'll come back to that? Was that you as Elise saying that,
No, that
or
was
was that
EO said that.
Eo? Okay.
Yeah, and after another minute, as you're kind of chatting amongst yourselves, EO returns and that tall Alfir, or not Alfir, sorry, Drow man is following her, and they sit down kind of together across from you. And this this man leans forward and kind of reaches out a hand first to Sten to shake. And he I presume you return the
I,
gesture.
I shake it exactly how Din would have told me how hands are shaken in high society. So
That's amazing. I love that. And then uh he kind of he does a little chuckle as you do this kind of perfect response, very like
mhm.
dead on etiquette. And then holds his hand out also to Edic to shake.
Dead on Edic.
Dead
It.
on Edic.
Yeah. Uh, and Edic doesn't give two shits about formalities, so he just shakes the hand.
um and yeah, this he kind of like lets go. His eyes do trail down to the Penrose, and then kind of come back up, and he says, well,
My
you've
eyes are up here.
oh yes, the old classic. You've certainly made quite that. He's talking directly to Sten now. You've certainly made quite the impression on my sister here. It's quite nice to meet you at last. Sten, she told me all about you after the concert last night. The name's Callisto. Callisto Brox. I think I'm the one perhaps you were angling to meet today.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna need him to sound more like a douchebag so I can hate him more.
Oh, interesting.
Like, hey, so like, what's
Hey,
up?
what's up,
I'm
y'all? Hey.
Is that what
Do you
calypso
want to be
artists
in
sound
my
like?
cool gang? That's what calypso artists sound like. Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. Callisto, I'm very, very happy to meet you. Happy to be invited here by your sister. You know, to keep the introduction to keep the introduction very brief. Um, I want to work with the best, and word is that you are, and you're not only professional, but you're professional with a flair, and I can respect that. Um, so here I am.
Well, I certainly think that we have plenty we can do for each other. I think perhaps a token to begin would be nice. Here's my offer. And he pulls out a bag that has quite a bit of money in it, and sets that on the
Okay.
table. And pulls out another bag and opens it. So, I mean, the money you hear like chinking and you can tell it's money. He doesn't really open that, but he
Mhm.
pulls out another bag, and the noise from inside that one doesn't have that same kind of like, oh, I know immediately that this is coins, right? Opens it up so you can see,
Mhm.
and it's a bag of it's sulfur. It's just a bunch of drugs. I mean, it's for one person.
Sure.
It's quite a nice little supply, you know. And he sets it down on the table side by side, and he says, "Here's what I suggest. I need this sulfur gone. You need this money, and I need additionally a contact, a name, a person in New Heaven who might be able to get me supplies. My previous supplier, we might say, has been removed from the equation. And I
Oh,
could,
it's
yes, from the morticians, I could use those supplies once again.
you need a mortician contact.
I need a mortician contact, not a
I
body.
I
Don't give
I
me a body. I've had enough of those lately.
I I know I can give you a very much alive mortician in your back pocket.
Excellent. Then, yes, let's say you get me this mortician on the line. I would like, I have a list of supplies I will need the next few days. Io will handle giving that to you. And he looks at Edic and says, and Sturge, I believe, you handle just getting that sulfur disappeared somewhere. Let me see what you can do with it. Let me.
Aren't there toilets in
um,
by disappear, do you mean uh literally gone, or do you need people to take it? What is your purpose? Yeah, this is
um, he uh he kind of slides it towards you and kind of like nods at it with the intention that you like investigate it. He wants you to look closer at this.
yeah. I will open it up and check it out.
Okay, you can roll investigate and occult, and you may take your demon knack for this.
All right, so that's going to be a 4d10 then.
Nice.
And we got 2 crit successes.
Oh, these
Nice.
crit successes tonight, y'all. Like, I'm never gonna have to ask you what your stress levels are again because you guys just keep critting on everything.
It's super weird that this is a super low stress campaign so
Yeah.
far, except that Rauka's fucking gone
Yeah.
also. Like,
Yeah.
it's a
Tragic.
strange balance.
Here's what we'll say. So two criticals in the same roll means you get your critical success from the one, plus you get kind of an additional benefit, which is excellent. So here's what we'll say. One, from the investigation itself, you get that this sulfur is extremely pure in the sense that not many demonic activities can produce sulfur this pure. And the presence of sulfur that pure, remember, Drek is the kind of made, what's the word, like cut with like other nasty
Cut.
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, version of sulfur. That is that's not really traceable. That's not really a thing that people would care much about. I mean, besides the fact that there's just so much of it right now. But this sulfur is dangerous to people to have because it's hard to get rid of, honestly, because this is demonic residue essentially. And it needs to be handled in such a way that it does not come back to this one. Or this organization. And what he's essentially doing is saying, like, if you can make this, like he wants to see what you can do. Like you've said you're a fence, you said you're, someone who kind of can smuggle or, move goods. And he wants to see what happens to this sulfur, like how you kind of handle it. And the kind of additional benefit that you're going to get from this second natural 10 is that in addition, you know that he's also you get the impression that because of this test that he's kind of giving you, that your reaction to this is being watched very closely. Your reaction to the investigation and what you say in response to your investigation is part of the test. He is very curious what you are going to make of this extremely pure sulfur that comes from very few types of demonic, only very kind of high level.
And so he is anticipating my response now. Very, very interesting. I was not expecting this. It's been a not too common occurrence that I deal with sulfur in its purest of states without any sort of contaminants or anything. But you can consider it done.
Very well. Will you get that list to Sten, and we'll see you the next 2 days, perhaps, for a report on how your tasks have gone, and from there, we'll see how our business continues. Keep the change. And just so you know, this is not chump change. You all, between the two of you, can both mark 2 additional resistance to silver. He's given you essentially 4 resistances to silver here.
I already had a spare extra bonus resistance to silver, and now I have 3.
have all sorts of money right now to spend. So,
shopping episode.
Shopping.
Yeah.
Montage.
I have 4 resistance to silver right now, so I can buy a whole lot.
Buy a lot. These are kind of like free resistances. Like once they're gone, but like
Sure.
And let's go ahead and cut back to the other group. What are Chu, Din, and Alvi up to outside the estate as Sten and Eddic kind of peel off? So we're going back to as you were kind of left behind.
Alvi is fully following along with whatever the fuck they're saying to do, because she is very out of her element.
I will distribute all the like swag that I got and like make sure everybody's wearing their like I love Callisto shirts or whatever.
Oh, mine's in a XXL. Should I
Just
tie
like
it in a
here, yeah, I'll show you, and then she'll like tie it up for you and like make it look all good.
Nice.
She'll pull out like a big foam finger and like give it to Din and be like, "This seems like it suits you."
Just like
Yeah.
just the
Um,
most depressed because this is so like I don't want to be noticed.
no, this is how just trust me.
You blend in
Um,
by
we're
looking
playing the
like that.
double agent angle if we get caught, Don't worry, it'll be fine. And do I know if it has like a back door or something to this place?
You don't know. You're not familiar with this exact estate. You could look.
I will.
Okay.
I look.
Yeah. So you spend a little bit of time kind of walking the perimeter of the estate, going around the back. Yeah, there are other entrances besides the main gate. There's definitely like some other gates around the sides and in the back. What would essentially be like a delivery or servant's entrance. Back here, let's see, Alvi, I think especially would be kind of tuned into this. You notice one of the people kind of going through the door as you kind of get around to the back is a Knoll person going, or a Knoll going through the door back here.
There's gnolls here. There were gnolls the other place too, and not all gnolls are bad. I have some gnoll friends, but gnolls are very often involved in.
Yup. Okay, so now we begin. Just buzz if you need to say something like desperately. And Chu kind of walks towards the door and is like, "All right, let's go make our entrance, I guess."
Okay.
And yeah, she just tries to walk in.
Okay. Yeah, you try the door, this kind of back entrance door, and it is locked.
She'll knock.
Kiss it, kiss it, kiss
Oh
it.
my god, I'm not gonna dissolve the door, give you away. She's gonna knock.
Okay. You knock, and after a minute, the door opens, and there's a person kind of dressed just in kind of semi-professional clothes. And they remind you a bit of Bev. They have like their clipboard and their pencil, and they're kind of like looking down, and they're like, I thought the delivery for the new flowers wasn't into. Oh, you're not the flower delivery.
This sounds like
Chu's
a
gonna
poor man's Bev.
Chu's gonna do her like best job to impersonate like the desperate fans that she sees. She's gonna be like, "Oh, this really is like Callisto's house. Like, oh my y'all, this is Callisto. This is the house. This is
The
what I was
person
telling
is
you.
like, oh my
I heard
god.
there was like a party here. Like we got invited. I don't know like what's going on, but
Hey,
they
look,
said
if
take the back room and just knock. We did, but like
told them so many times not to send people to the back. It's like
I'm
not my
sorry.
um yeah, go ahead and roll deceive and high society.
I have both of those.
Nice.
Great, that's 3 to
So
10.
that's the good news. 8.
Okay, and
Woo.
8 is a success with no stress. So they kind of like roll their eyes and they're like, look, don't, if it came in the front, all right? Just anyone asks, came in the front. I'm not on the hook for this one.
Yeah, always.
um and they kind of step back and let you through, and they kind of gesture around and they're like, the pool is that way.
Cool,
Fucking pool
thanks.
here.
I like pools. We'll be let's go, y'all. Let's mingle as yep. Bye. And we'll just leave. We'll walk towards the pool, I guess.
Yeah, so you kind of walk in the direction that this person indicated for you. As you're going, Alvi, you 100% are recognizing this area, this gardened area, as like you're kind of in the back, and so it's like not as impressive. But this is more like the staging area for the gardens. And as someone who worked in the gardens up in Amaranth once upon a time, this would be like a very familiar look and feel. It's got the tables with all the supplies and the dirt piles and the a few plants that seem to not be thriving have been kind of pulled and are back here being tended to specifically. Things like that. There's a few like cutlets and like little what are they like the little ones that are propagating in things kind of all back here. So this and you see several gnolls tending to those various items around back here as well.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna get very distracted and look at the plants and start kind of just like investigating them and being excited to see them and look around if I
Can't
see
talk
any.
to them, Rachel.
I know. I
She
can't
will
talk to them in this
probably
game.
like take the chance to like slow down and like gather around you and be like, yeah, plants. And then she'll turn to Din and be like, this is your time to shine. Like, we're in now. We have a cover. Now we just got to figure out what the information is and where it's at, and then steal it and then leave.
Oh my god. I have a ability called smell status.
Oh hell
Okay.
yeah!
You know precisely who to talk to or who to take out to get things done. Once per session, ask the GM who's really in charge
Oh,
here.
fuck
You can find
yeah.
out easily, or you already know thanks to
You
your
know what the best
connections.
part about this is? Is you can use it again at the beginning of the next session.
So are we where I'm in terms of like sphere of influence of what Din can see and who Din can suss out. Um, if you use this ability now, you're getting much more about kind of like the servants and the household than you are getting about either the revelers or Callisto's kind of operation, whatever EO has been talking to Sten about.
Yeah.
So just FYI, I want you to kind of strategic what information you want about what person changes based on kind of your proximity to different parts of um the whole thing. So I would say Din would know like where the best place to kind of suss out who she's looking for is first. You can tell me and then I'll say like, "Oh, you would need to go here first," or
Okay. So
Suggestion:
because
you use it this
go ahead.
time to get a general idea, and you use it next time after we've like talked with people to get a better idea.
I think I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that my knack is with like listening. So if I could find out kind of like where the kind of like servants area, like like wherever the servants would be like gossiping, right? Where I could like overhear or try to like listen for some stuff that like because usually servants like see everything and
Mhm.
talk to each other about it, but not other people.
Okay. And then
That's
from
kind of what
that
I'm looking for.
uh you would want to find out like who's in charge, who's really in charge, like specifically kind of the household and like the management of and the movement of the people and everything. That about right? Is that
Yeah, like whoever would have like the most gossip, I guess, like the most
okay?
information,
Okay. Yeah.
the most knowledgeable.
Okay.
That's
Got it.
probably that person.
Yeah. So you kind of like as Alvi and Chu kind of, Alvi I think with no malice or misdirection in her heart is like providing the perfect cover of just being like, "Oh, and then that, like telling you all about
I
these
just
different
want to like start like if I can talk to the gnolls at all and just be like,
Mhm.
what are you using to do,
um
what's the soil pH? And have you
and
thought if you
yeah, as this is kind of going on, like you just kind of keep slowly directing the group towards the house. And as you get kind of closer to the house, there is this kind of like back area, seems to connect into the kitchens, maybe, has access to the grounds, the pool. A lot of paths seem to kind of converge, and it would certainly be like where the servants kind of hang for this. So go ahead and roll investigate or sneak. Um, and then high society.
Okay, so I have sneak and high society, and then I have the knack.
Hmm.
So is that 3?
Plus your base, so that's 4. You get all 4 for that one.
Oh, okay. D10 4.
There you go, critical success. So once again, a
Yeah.
10. I think we've had 10s in like all the rolls tonight.
Imagine if
for
we've been giving a
a
stress to
resistral
Callisto Brox every single time.
time.
Dude would have been dead by now. Hard like
Yeah, so you kind of you as you listen in, kind of casually like watching Alvi talk about the plants, but you're actually completely tuned into this conversation happening around you. You kind of you listen to these servants talking. You've got like the chef, and someone who seems to be kind of in charge of um managing some of the groundskeeping. So the gnolls seem to do the most of the labor, but the like the groundskeeper is like in charge of the and you're listening to them kind of like they're essentially like their smoke break out back, talking to each other, and they are complaining about the kind of the manager of the household, who they're like it's like the swan thinks that like he's better than all the rest of the people who work in their household. And it's like, and like you start to get the sense that this person, this like manager of the household, is someone who has their foot in multiple doors for like what's going on in the Swan's household. Seems to be kind of someone who tracks the management of the servants and the management of the gnolls and the management of the house, right, and the estate, but also tracks the revelers and like who should be here and who shouldn't be here, and whether someone has like fallen out of favor and is like kicked out permanently, and and has the Swan's ear a little bit, is someone that the Swan trusts to do all of this. And that's the kind of just, household manager, essentially. And we will because I definitely had a name for this person coming in.
Chew nudges
to
Din and is like, new plan, we just kill this person and then talk to their ghost.
um
And I
they
just
No? Okay.
they refer to this person as Crofer. Crowfer. Crofer. And they use he
Definitely
him.
thought that was going to be a PH.
Nope. Fer. And they use he him pronouns when they talk about Crofer. And I think that's where we're going to stop for the night. So some good intel for Din about Crofer. We've got some ins with Callisto, tests underway for Eddic and Anders/Sten. So excellent work tonight. Everybody kind of taking different angles to do things. And I think, let's see, I guess thanks for hanging out with us in the chat. Join us on Discord if you want. Watch other streams Fridays, Wednesdays
But only watch other streams on this channel,
on this
not other
channel.
channel.
You can watch other channels, but not on
No.
Fridays, Thursdays, or Wednesdays.
Okay,
I had to
yes.
go backwards. Wednesdays, Thursdays, or Fridays. Um, just thanks everyone. You're great. Hang in there. Yeah, if you're in Colorado, stay warm. Don't drive in the multiple feet of snow we're supposed to be getting. Um, Otherwise, stay safe, and thanks everybody.
Yeah,
Say good
thanks
night.
everyone. Good
Night,
night.
Steve.
Take out the trash tonight
Bye,
before it
bye.
snows.
Bye everyone.